I would lastly like to introduce the Venerable Dr. Wayne Brighton. I had a little look on his LinkedIn profile today. He said it wasn't up to date, but hopefully I'm correct when I say that he's the Manager of Professional Development of Chaplains and is busy enhancing the capacity to launch new chaplaincy services across the diocese. Thank you, Wayne. Please come on.
Thank you so much, Veronica, and thank you, Dr. Ali, for the kind invitation to speak tonight. Thank you, guests, for being here, and I acknowledge elders, past and present, of the Ngunnawal people. Tonight, we're being asked to imagine life. What might Australia look like on the other side of marriage equality? We're being asked to consider what might happen if same-sex people can say to each other, I take you as my wife or husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish so long as we both shall live. Although I can't speak on behalf of all Anglicans or Christians generally, as a religious leader, I find myself asking these two questions. Will marriage equality make us, as a nation, better or worse? Will Australia become richer or poorer for having marriage equality? I believe that marriage equality could make Australia a much better society if it prompts a deeper conversation about what lies at the heart of marriage. We could become better if it allows us to rediscover the meaning of love and to affirm the importance of equality. Now, many Australians don't actually realise how much the practice of marriage has changed. For many people around the world, marriage has long been about money and power. Families for centuries have used marriage to make deals, to build alliances, even to pay off debts. Marrying well is a great way to add to a family's honour, especially if your parents' wishes are followed. Conversely, following your own heart has often been the route to shame, to poverty, or worse. Now, many Australians have long shared this view, and for many, marriage offered women an economic advantage, especially at a time when they couldn't own property. It offered men a chance for social responsibility and respectability. But families also used marriage for far less noble reasons, particularly when a pregnancy was unexpected. But times have changed and patterns of family life have shifted. People who get married now are no longer in their teens, but in their 30s. Marriage comes not at the beginning of a relationship, but somewhere near the middle. People come to marriage after they have established a career. They've bought a house, they might have children. Today, for many people in our community, marriage is a celebration of love. As we all know, only love can make the heart glad, the legs strong, the hands ready to give anything a go. And so marriage has become a way for people to declare that their relationship is a mutual one, that it's a relationship founded upon equality, that it's a relationship that's committed and fruitful. We know that there's nothing better than having someone to pick us up when we fall. There's nothing greater than having someone who is strong when we are all weak. There's certainly nothing better than having someone who believes the best about us and who helps us to succeed. Now, whether it is between a man or a woman, between people of the same sex, I believe that marriage equality can make us all better, because relationships built on love are very good for everyone's soul. I believe that our nation might also become richer if we grasp this opportunity. particularly if we value equality more deeply. Jesus' opponents once pressed him to state his principles, and he reached deep into the work of Moses, a prophet respected by all three Abrahamic faiths, when he said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength." And no doubt all the good religious people there nodded in agreement. But then Jesus went further and he juxtaposed this command with another instruction given by Moses. And the second is this: you shall love your neighbour as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. For a lot of people, it's often you take one or the other. Or many people put one above the other, as though these are both optional. But no, Jesus said to his friends that these are on the same level. And ultimately, our claims to love God are hollow and self-serving if we hate, despise, or neglect our neighbours. We have a paradox where equality lies at the heart of each Abrahamic faith, and yet the average Australian feels very ambivalent about equality today. We like to think of our nation as a wide brown land that's open to all, but nothing upsets the average Aussie more than seeing someone less fortunate get a few crumbs thrown their way. Equality does not exist because Parliament decrees it. And equality doesn't mean that we are all having to be the same or identical. No, equality exists because everyone has value and worth and dignity. So same-sex marriage highlights this fact of equality, that everyone should have the right to happiness with the life partner they choose. It says that all people are valuable and deserve respect and dignity and honour, whether we agree with them or not. I think we have this rare opportunity to think about how our marriages embody this sense of equality. Is it really a marriage if I take the biggest share and leave nothing for my wife? How strong is my marriage if I demand opportunities for myself that I then deny to my children? If I am indifferent to my wife's needs, what right do I have to call this relationship a marriage? So I think marriage equality means that every person should get every opportunity to become the best that they can be. So I believe our nation could be better and richer for having relationships grounded in love, where people treat each other as equals with respect. But I'm also conscious that the realisation of marriage equality might have the opposite effect. You might ask, how on earth could Australia become worse if 2/3 of our population are in favour of marriage equality? The difficult truth is simply that love is fragile and the commitment to equality is drying up. We've heard tonight, Parliament might grant equality with a stroke of a pen, but it will do little to alter the prejudice that exists in our hearts. Prejudice is that preconceived bias by one group against another that is always unreasonable and damaging to everyone. Now, as an Australian, in Australia I realise we have a very long history of prejudice. It might have started with the English looking down upon the Irish, of whites looking down upon Indigenous people, of men looking down upon women, of those who are more masculine and feminine on those whose gender and orientation is diverse. We might become worse if we think that simply passing a law through Parliament waves this problem away. We need to adjust to address the prejudice that lies within. Simply because prejudice hurts everyone. Prejudice hurts the powerless because it prevents them from reaching their full potential. Prejudice blames those who are put down for the very problems that they suffer. You can hear prejudice speaking when it says, "We've given you so much and you still want more? Why are you so ungrateful?" Prejudice hurts the powerful too. Prejudice makes the powerful deaf and blind to their own lamentable monstrosity. Instead of making the world a better, safer place, it becomes worse when the powerful shirk their responsibilities. Marriage equality offers us the opportunity to create a new future. But if people prefer to live in the past, if they harbour discrimination and accept social inferiority as natural, then we can only be worse for that. You might ask, how can marriage equality make us poorer, especially if we're saving $160 million from an unnecessary plebiscite? We can become poorer if we don't see the important relationship between civil liberties and civil rights. We will become poorer if, rather than balancing rights and liberties, we make this a game of winners and losers, simply because not everyone agrees with marriage equality. On present surveys I've seen, as much as 35% of Australians don't support it. 35% may not sound much, but that is still over 6 million people of voting age. And many of these people oppose it because of their convictions about faith, about family, and about honour. Consequently, I think it poses an important choice to every single community. And that choice is not simply, do you accept marriage equality or not? The choice is this: how will we live with people with whom we disagree with? And so I think Australia needs a deep conversation about the nature of religious freedom in a secular society. And it needs to be calm and rational, lest we find ourselves caught in the kind of cultural war that is engulfing many nations around this globe. Reconciling the love of God with the love of neighbour has never been more difficult nor more necessary than it is today. If we let it to become a storm, it will consume every ounce of energy in our communities. Religious rights and liberties need to work together. Everyone will become poorer if religious communities protect their own privilege and fail to exercise their rights to protect the liberties of others. Everyone will become poorer if religious communities fail to apologise for the violence and exclusion experienced by LGBTIQ people and do nothing to stop it. So let me simply finish that I think that marriage equality will be a test for our nation's heart and soul. Are we prepared to be a people of goodwill, or will we harbour lingering prejudice? Do we accept equality, or are we content to let others ride coach? Do we accept the responsibility to create a new future for everyone, or do we simply leave it for someone else to fix? I like to think that we might just be bold enough to love our neighbours as much as we love ourselves. And my hope is that we might become a better, richer nation for making equality in marriage a reality for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Very thought-provoking and timely. We're going to take a little break now so that you can eat, and then we'll go into a question and answer time. So maybe in about 15-20 minutes I'll get back up and we'll keep going with the dialogue after that. Thanks.